I'm Rachel. I work for the service team at PV Squared, and if you've had questions about net metering, chances are you were sent over my way. Net metering. It seems confusing, because it is kind of confusing. Maybe that's part of the point? We won't get into that in this video. But, so during a sunny day, your system is producing tons of awesome electricity. Some of that electricity is being used directly by your house. So if you are making power and then you turn your air conditioner on, right, or your refrigerator's running, you are going to have some of those electrons actually powering things in your house in the moment. It's very cool. The ones that are not sucked away by the loads in your house end up being exported out to the grid, and those are captured and calculated by your utility net meter. You can even look at your net meter and see this happening. It's a very fun game when you first get a system. So those are exports, and they're counted by the utility as exports or sales. You might see them listed as sales on your bill. Then in the afternoon, 4 p.m. rolls around, the sun is starting to dip towards the horizon, and you turn on your electric stove to start cooking dinner. So at that point in time, the energy that you're generating on your roof is probably below what you actually need, and your house is going to start drawing energy from the grid. Those are imports or purchases. So throughout a day, you might start out with importing power, then export power, probably not all of it, right? Some of it's going to be taken by your house, and then you're going to switch back into the land of importing power from the grid. At night, of course, any power that you use is going to come from the grid, so that's going to be all imports or purchases. So at the end of the month, you are going to see on your bill a calculation of your imports and exports or purchases and sales. The total number that you see of your exports is not the same number as your production, because some of that power was used directly by your house. So if your array produced 1,000 kilowatt hours in the month of June, maybe your exported energy is 800 kilowatt hours. Maybe it's 500, right? That totally depends on your house, when you use energy, what the weather was, all of those different things. So if you're looking at your electric bill, you are not going to see your total production. What you will see is all of the energy that you sent to the grid and all of the energy that you pulled from the grid. There's going to be a net number there. Maybe you exported more than you imported. Maybe you imported more than you exported. That net number is what becomes net metering. And net metering means you exported more than you imported, so you're a net exporter in that month. You've sent more power to the grid, and the utility is actually going to pay you for that net export in net metering credits. Do you get a check from the utility? Probably never. But you do see that money associated with those net metering credits added on to your utility billing account. And if you have multiple months in a row where you're a net exporter, you should start to see that money build up as a negative balance. For many clients, many solar owners, you will develop a negative balance through the summer months into early mid-fall, and then it'll kind of flip and you'll start to spend down those credits in the winter because less production, less sunlight, lower sun angle, all those things, your array is covered in snow, and maybe your usage is a little higher, right? More lights on, if you have electric heat, all of those things. So a typical residential scenario is generating net metering credits in the summer that you then spend down in the winter. Now there's one other piece of complexity here. What if you make too many net metering credits? What if you make so much energy that you could never use it on your house? Well, there is a handy dandy feature called a Schedule Z form, very archaic, bureaucratic, fun times in the utility, where you can actually take net metering credits and share them to another account. So if you have a neighbor, a family member, or even a local charity that could benefit from the energy that you are producing and the excess net metering credits that you can't spend down, you can actually share those to another account. That account has to be in the same utility territory and load zone. So, picture it being the same town, or at least, if you're Eversource or National Grid, it would have to be served by the same utility. There is some paperwork involved, there's some nuance involved, and we can always help you get that set up. But it is a possibility, and it's a great way, especially if maybe you oversized your solar array because you're going to get that electric car, but probably not for another year or two. What are you going to do with those net metering credits in the meantime? Well, maybe they can be benefiting someone else, and maybe they can kick something back your way. We're happy to help you with it, and if you have any questions about your net metering or reading your electric bill, especially when you're first getting started, reach out to us.